Are you tired of feeling limited by the labels or boxes that society is putting you in? Well, if so, our next guest says it's time to break out. Her name is Betsy Pepine, and she is the author of Breaking Boxes, Dismantling the Metaphorical Boxes That Bind Us. Today, she is joining us virtually to show us how we can all do it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you here. Congratulations on your book. And I really want to start with the foundation, Betsy. Why do you think society puts us in boxes? What is the goal?
I think the main goal is to help us assimilate information quickly. When you think about years, decades, eons ago, when we were hunters and gatherers, and we had to put people in boxes. We had to know people and animals and things, what was dangerous and what was not dangerous. So I think the very first boxes were basically, are you safe or are you not safe to me in my life? And then I think it just grew from there. And so we get so much information inundated into us every day. How do we categorize people and things to make sense of it? So I think that's the fundamental reason on why we started using these boxes to help us assimilate the information that's coming into us.
No, it's so true, and it's evolved over the years. We now have the gender box, the career box, the good mom box. I'm so curious for you, what boxes were you put in by society, and what was the catalyst that really made you say, I'm more than just what you think I am?
Yeah. I think we've all been put in lots of different boxes. For me personally, it was a family of origin box. It's kind of, this is what we do in our family. And that was a really strong box that I identified with and didn't recognize that maybe all those things didn't fit me. But also as I grew, the good daughter box, the good wife box, the good mom box. Then also things relating to my personality, the introvert box, and what did that mean? I think others also look at boxes in terms of sometimes your personality traits, your body type, your religion can put you in a box, your industry, your gender. There's so many different avenues and vehicles and organizations and institutions that have the ability to put us in boxes, and we put ourselves in boxes too. So it's not just this being placed upon us, but we also do it to ourselves. So it's coming at us from all angles.
And it sounds like it can be a negative thing, right? Thinking that I'm just one thing when I'm much more than just maybe where I work or who I'm with. But I feel like for some people, when we put people in boxes, it gives us a good framework on how to maybe communicate with them and just be around them. Like the good mom box, I think that's a good box to be in. How do we know when being put in a box becomes negative?
For me, it's you will feel it in your body first. You won't think it. You will absolutely feel it. Something will feel off. And that's what happened to me. You asked me, how did this book come to be? I was in my mid-40s and I felt like I had checked off all the boxes on what it was to be successful and happy. And while I was successful, I wasn't happy, if I was being honest with myself. And so I felt that to the core of my being, and I couldn't figure out why. And it was through an exploration of journaling and therapy and meditation and yoga, and really going back to, for me, the basics and how do certain things make me feel, and why do I feel a certain way? But you're right, and not all boxes are bad. I am an introvert, and I fought that box for a long time. Personality tests told me I was an introvert. People told me I was an introvert. And I assumed that box meant that I was a wallflower, that I couldn't speak up for myself, that I was meek. And that's not who I am. But what I learned and embraced about being in the introvert box is that it's from where do we derive our energy? And once I understood that, I'm like, absolutely, that is me to a core. And then I could start embracing that box instead of fighting it. So not all boxes are bad and destructive, and some serve us for certain periods of time in our life. And then at other times, we need to gracefully exit them.
It's so true. And you talk about so many different themes in your book. We showed it moments ago about self-identity, changing your mindset. Do you feel like those are the tools that you need to really step out of that box? You mentioned earlier meditation, journaling, really having that internal conversation with yourself. Is that how we get out of that box that maybe society puts us in, or ourselves?
Yeah, I think that's a great first step. I think also for me, it's identifying, I'm in business and we spend so much time in business working on the company's core values and our mission statement. But how many of us go home and do that with ourselves? What are our core values and what's our mission statement for our life and in our families? And if we spent time doing that and making sure that what we're doing is aligning with our core values and that vision, that future vision of ourselves and our family, if there's a disconnect, that will help you uncover that and explore some of those boxes that are making you feel more confined than you need to be.
Come on, have the conversation with yourself. I think it's so important. So now that you've broken out, or rather broken out of the boxes that people have put you in, how do you describe Betsy Pepine today?
Well, it is a journey. I don't think I'll ever be out of any boxes or all of them entirely. But for me, I define myself today as a wanderer, a learner, someone that is seeking growth and very, very curious. Always looking to understand other people, their viewpoints, their positions in life, how they got to be where they are, why they think the way they do, not from a judgmental standpoint at all, but just from an understanding, because I think we are all fundamentally the same. And sometimes these boxes can create these imaginary and very real walls between us that don't need to divide.
Come on with the conversation, Betsy. A wanderer and a wanderer. I like that. Thank you so much for being here. And look, everybody, if you want to get a copy of Betsy's book, Breaking Boxes, log on to her website, betsypepine.com.